The question flying around us, because what you just said is very special. Whatever it is, I was going to say that from up here, the past, present, and the future become one. We are just living down here. We're the person walking on the beach. The person in the tower says, "Wait, watch out! You're coming to a hole. You're going to fall." For us, it's the future down here, but for this person up here, it's present. The whole thing is present. The whole beach. Yeah. So we can have that. We can have moments like that. I call them very simply moments in eternity, where we understand that we are being gifted with moments of consciousness. You can make any moment a moment in eternity. To explain it. Why exactly? We're just thinking a metaphor between vertical and horizontal.
Because listen, because if life is in reality vertical, horizontal, I have a beginning and I have an end. But if life is vertical and we are on the shoulders of giants, the Adam Arishon and me, we are, or everybody else, are like a continuous line of following events, preparation, tikkunim, all that. How
you're
want.
You're both.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We don't need to say if reality is horizontal, then it's such and such, and if reality is vertical, then it's such and such. I don't think we need to.
But how do you
know that we can live in a unified reality. It takes a little bit of practice. It takes. You should do it. We can experiment and do it at moments when it's easy, and then maybe during moments when it's more difficult, we can also do it. We have to practice when it's easy, though. One of the easiest moments is for me is when I bow at the beginning of the Amidah and I come up. For me, that's like a birth. It's like coming out of a single reality and to a new reality. Or, like the beautiful paintings of mountains where there's a cloud bank around the mountain. It's like coming up above the cloud bank for the first time and seeing the top of the mountain. That bracha, that bowing down, and that coming up, and we say Hashem's name. That's the most beautiful place to stay. Don't go anywhere. Don't say the next word. You're allowed to stay there and ask Hashem to really help you to know Him and to know yourself. You can say all you want in your own thoughts. But again, by me, the idea of holding my head up and breathing in means it's a physical representation of wanting to get connected. So this bowing down is in order to go up into connection. So from that place is where you meet that's where you meet your teacher, you meet Hashem, you meet the King. The whole journey that you've taken to get to here, you can, so to speak, look back and say that everything that you've gone through, now you can see it in a different light. I like to say that if you get to the top of the mountain, you meet the King and the Queen. So they tell you to look back down. And you say, yeah, it was like really hard down there, and there was that, and I tripped there, and I fell there, and there was somebody down there that was really mean to me. And the King and the Queen smile. And as I go on with my story, they smile some more. And they say, don't you understand? That was us. From here, you understand it differently. You understand that everything was in order for you to learn. So I like moments like that. I like to think like that. I think it's a wonderful metaphor for what life is. There's moments of awakening where you get so much more if you just allow that moment to expand into eternity. And again, anyway, so thank you so much for opening up, Sarah, and trying to express something that's very difficult to express.
It's very confusing.
No, but let's not be confused. Let's not be confused. What I said before is the physical world is only a very tiny spot, and the spiritual is the major portion.
But your neshama has been here the whole time, whether it was in the past, present, or future, but your physical body is only here for a certain amount of time. But he's saying, even after you pass away, your neshama will still be here. So you actually can see both, past, present, and future. Your neshama is always there.
I understood. As a matter of fact, there is no difference for me as a conceptual world in between those who passed away and me. So, I mean, us. So that I understand, but I just wanted to know as a concept, you know, how to.
Okay, so we'll try and clarify it as we go. It's definitely a very useful meditation. If you need to, you do it with somebody else with you. You can go. You can imagine yourself walking in a very either a path in a forest or a path through a long hallway, and that you ask to be able to go, to be taken up into the spiritual dimension, and to meet your relatives, and to meet your teachers, and to ask them to welcome you and to teach you. Right? And then you can imagine, you can use your imagination for imaging the person or the persons that you meet. It could be just a feeling. You could just feel that you're just surrounded by those who love you, and that they're giving you the go-ahead. Yes, we're with you. Then, perhaps after a few times, there can even be some actual message. These are useful. They're not dangerous, especially if you have in mind that you want to meet the tzaddikim, the great righteous souls. We have so many of them, and we're all part of one great soul. So this teaching is, I think, is something you can use and get a lot from. So in one single unified world, it's just that it won't be revealed until the future that it was so. This is why the sages instituted the phrase min ha'olam be'ad ha'olam, from the upper world to the lower world, to be said following all blessings in the mikdash. Whenever they said blessings in the Beit HaMikdash, I've never really understood this. And when somebody would say a blessing, the answer would be min ha'olam be'ad ha'olam, from the world to the world. The intention being from the upper world down even into this lower world. There should be a flow. There should be a connection. In order to emphasize that the higher world and the lower world are truly one, and that blessing flows incessantly from one to the other. Then Rabbi Charlap says, in the meantime, there's one place below which retains this original holiness, this sanctity of unity. It is the Me'arat HaMachpelah, the double cave. This is where the seemingly dual nature of reality is unified, i.e. where what is above is below, and what is below is above. And this is why Abraham Avinu desired this place. For it is here that the supernal holiness, the Kedusha, is revealed, as it is revealed above, with no disparity, such that despite the numerous levels that Kedusha must pass through in flowing down from the upper world, it is not affected by this in the least here. This is a place where there's just no blocks. So again, on the inner level, there's a place inside of each one of us, bless you, there's a place for each one of us where there's no blocks. I love to tell the story, maybe I'm just a very romanticist, I love to tell my favorite parable of the Baal Shem Tov. I recently put this together. Sulam Aliyah. The last chapter, it leads up to the last chapter, which is a translation of a 500-year-old text called Sulam Aliyah. It's Hebrew and English. Everything is Hebrew, and it followed immediately by the English. It should become a pamphlet where, but again, the whole thing should become a small book where you see that a very beautiful manual. He literally speaks to you like he's giving you the very clean way of communicating information. His name is Rabbi Yehuda al-Botini. He was born in 1453 and passed away in 1519. He is chief rabbi of Jerusalem in the year 1508. Very significant, because he was going into a very deep system of meditation called the Abulafian system.